Welcome to a new solo LP. So this game was recommended to me by a friend recently. I was really enjoying the first bit I got into it. It's pretty much exactly the sort of thing I like. So I figured why not make a let's play out of it. See if we can do some puzzle solving live like this. Anyway, it's Puzzle Agent. It's, from what I understand, very heavily Twin Peaks inspired, very heavily Fargo inspired, which I could definitely see in the first little bit I saw so far. It was the first game in Telltale's pilot program, and it's gotten very good reaction overall. So, let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, so I mentioned the narrative inspirations, but gameplay-wise, this is basically a Professor Layton type thing. You've got puzzles, you need to solve them. So you can also see, besides Twin Peaks and Fargo, there's a little bit of X-Files going on here, maybe a little bit of Doctor Who, but I might be reading too much into the astronaut thing. So our first puzzle here, it's just a jigsaw puzzle, basically. Not really much you need to work on here. The interface for the pieces is a little bit weird. Once you get a match like that, pieces lock in, which make things a little bit easier. It's kind of the challenge out of it, honestly, but you need something like that. So, let's go ahead and put this together bit by bit. And there we go. First puzzle is done. So, from what I've gathered so far in the bit that I've played, there's 3 categories to decide how well you do. If you don't use hints here, apparently you get a bonus hint. Not sure about wrong answers, what kind of penalty that gets you yet. Not sure about the ratings yet, but I'm sure that's stuff that once I do end up failing puzzles, we will have more of. And when you click How, just like in Professor Layton, you can see the details of the solution if you didn't understand the solution that well, if you just happened to stumble into it, or if you just want a better description of it. So we got a mysterious message from the astronaut.
Puzzle research. This is Agent Tethers. I think you have the wrong number. Oh, I see. An assignment. In the field? No, sir, it's been, yes, quite some time. Uh-huh. Erasers? The foundation of democracy? Oh, absolutely, sir. I agree, sir. Oh, yes, the White House needs its erasers, sir. I'll be on the next plane to... Wait, where?
And here we get our literal call to action. So our main character isn't quite as charismatic as Dale Cooper. Let's say you can also see here where the Fargo influence is going to come in, and I'll be even more heavy in a little bit. But, I don't know, from what I've seen of him so far, I kind of like him. He's kind of a nebbishy type, which fits puzzle investigation, I guess. So, just like Professor Layton, it's not all puzzles. There's a little bit of environmental interaction that we'll see in a little bit. And here you get a little bit more of the Twin Peaks.
Just arrived in Scoggins, Minnesota. Population, 754. Temperature, it's cold, and not much to look at. According to the agency, there's some kind of thing going on at the local eraser factory. The whole plant is shut down. There's a weird man staring at me. Hopefully this won't be a big waste of time. Agent Tether's out. I have no idea where my hotel is. I might have to ask for directions.
So the interface here is pretty nice. I really like it. You don't just have to hunt for things to click on, because if you click on any area, it does that aura thing around your click, and you can see any interactables near the cursor. It's a really nice touch. Saves you a lot of pixel hunting. That's a very clever way of getting around that interface problem, which is always an issue in adventure games.
I'm Nelson Tethers with the FBI's Department of Puzzle Research. Hello?
Yep.
Okay, and you are?
Bjorn.
Bjorn?
Yep.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Bjorn. Boy, those snowmobiles sure are a bumpy ride, eh?
Yep.
So, we've got dialogue trees like this. You choose your option from here. Continues on the path. Pretty basic adventure game stuff. The puzzle piece icon here, from what I've been able to gather, indicates that something will unlock a puzzle rather than just more chatter.
Can you give me directions to the nearest hotel? I'm having a little trouble finding my way around.
You'd never get there. Roads are too slick.
Sir, I'm an agent of the FBI's Puzzle Research Division. It can't be harder than the puzzles I see every day.
Not so.
It's really just a matter of trajection.
Okay, on the way to the hotel, you're going to pass 2 traffic lights.
And now we come to puzzle number 2. This is the pathfinding puzzle. We know that we need to hit these 2 traffic lights. We need to end up here. Every time the path hits a line, a log here, it deflects at a 90-degree angle based on that. So we just need to curve ourselves appropriately that we hit those traffic lights. And we are done. And again, perfect score on this one. I don't know, let's see if we can keep that up. Not counting on it, but let's see. If we look at the details here, you can see that there's 2 ways we could have gone about it. We took the N-shaped pattern here, but we also could have gone ahead and done a more S-shaped path, like this. Something along those lines, maybe like this is more likely, but anyway. Let's move on to the hotel. I'll also say that it's a nicely funny game, which isn't something you see very often.
I must have gotten lost. I thought your directions were taking me to the hotel.
They did.
I'm standing in front of the hotel, aren't I?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Really loving what I've heard of the voice acting so far here, too. So let's get some information on our investigation here before we head in.
I'm here to investigate an incident at the Scoggins Eraser Factory. Do you know anything about it?
Nope. The hotel's going to close soon. Better check in if you're sticking around.
Seen any suspicious people hanging around the hotel lately?
Yep.
Really? Can you describe them?
Skinny asks lots of questions. Wears a stupid hat.
Thanks for the tip.
Yeah.
Kind of obvious, kind of standard joke there, but still always good. So, got another objective here. We can see that now we've got an investigation icon here.
Discovered a fence. Board's all chewed up, something terrible. Could be the work of strays trying to get to the dumpsters back there. I don't know why I'm reporting this.
So, let's go ahead and go inside. And there's a nice autosave feature. Up in this menu here, we can see all the puzzles that we've already done, and I'm assuming all the puzzles that we miss, because I'm hoping, like Leighton, that there's some feature whereby you can go back to puzzles you might have missed because the plot's moved on and go ahead and resolve them. Not entirely sure what taxpayer cost means yet. We hit here, we can check the journal, which is pretty basic quest journal types thing. Let's get back to the action. So you can see a few icons here. This I'm going to leave alone for now because the game will explain it itself once we hit a certain plot point. Got a couple of people we can talk to. We're supposed to be talking to the hotel... I should know the word name for what this job is, to check into the hotel. But since that's the obvious way we're supposed to go, let's not do that.
Excuse me, you look perplexed.
Puzzles. So many puzzles.
Puzzles? I might be able to help you with that.
Okay, and this is one that it's going to be a little bit hard to talk through. Pretty much for this one, you can see every here and there, there'll be a couple tiles that look close, but not quite. They're a little bit misaligned. My goal is just to focus on those, rotate them until they seem lined up. So we know that the idea here is supposed to be that we end up finding the rubber band in his stomach, which means we're going to be looking for a loop, a closed structure. Once everything seems lined up, and once we find that structure, we're done. So, let's see, that looks a little bit off there. Looks a little bit better. This one's off, but we know it's not something to rotate because that lines up there. So we go ahead with this one. And that looks about right. Well, there's a lot of trial and error in this puzzle. I don't think there's really much particular strategy with this one going on. Let's look off there. So turn things around until those look lined up. This here befuddled me for a while because I was sure this was a sign that something was wrong, but you can clearly see there's not much else you can do with that, so that's just something you gotta live with. There's a two-headed tapeworm in here. Turn this one around here. And I believe this is it, and you can see that nice closed loop right here in the middle. Let's go ahead and submit this one. And not much here to say, just the same thing that we were looking for, a closed circle. It does mention there's a loop in the middle. Anyway, we helped Bo.
Solved. Now maybe you can relax a little.
I guess.
The whispers. If it's an acrostical enigma, or maybe it's a Baltimore trans-deletion. The whispers?
Or not.
That's something that I think we might want to keep in mind, acrostical enigma. An acrostic is a word hidden in the first letter of every sentence, every line, something along those lines, something like that. So that's something we should watch out for. So, that's done, so let's go ahead and check ourselves
Hello.
in.
Well, hello there, mister. Welcome to Valda's Inn. I'm Martha Garrett, but everyone calls me Ma. How can I help you?
I'm Nelson Tethers. I have a reservation.
Oh, yeah, you're here about the eraser factory, eh? We're awfully excited to have a real FBI man in our town. It's just like TV, yeah? Ooh, I'm gonna make some hot dish for you later.
A hot dish?
Oh, you'll love it. I've never met a man who didn't love himself some hot dish.
Alright. So, let's get our room key.
So, what room am I in?
Yeah, okay, I've got your room right here. Oh dear, this is so embarrassing. The night clerk wrote down your room number in code.
Clerk.
Mind if I have a look? I bet I can figure out what room I'm in.
Alright, so let's go ahead and see if we can crack this code. Not really much of a code. Maybe it's just me, but it kind of jumped out literally right at me. It's the negative space inside the scribbles. It just spells out 9. Alright, and yep, says 9.
There you go, Mrs. Garrett.
Oh, yeah, now I see. Okay, then. Here's your room key, FBI man.
Thanks. Actually, while I have you here, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? Real quick, I promise.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, let's go ahead and get some more information.
How do I get to the factory from here?
The FBI doesn't know where the factory is? Oh, dear, our moose is cooked.
Rest assured, ma'am, the FBI just likes to confirm intelligence with civilian knowledge of... We like to double-check things.
Oh, of course. Well, it's easy. I have a tourist map of our little town of Scoggins right here. You know, our Scoggins Erasers is the plant that supplies the White House with all of its erasers. The president could be fixing a mistake with a Scoggins eraser right now.
Yes, ma'am. That's why I'm here. That and the fact that every time the Bureau made an inquiry into the situation, all we ever got back were bizarre puzzles.
Oh yeah, well, that'll happen.
Oh, a little bit curious about these erasers.
Do you know anything about the problem at the factory?
Yeah, so tragic about the accident, huh?
Accident?
Oh yeah, the foreman, Isaac Davner, they say he was killed in there.
Is that so?
Well, not to be gossipy, but I heard the accident was caused by raccoons.
Raccoons?
Yeah, little creatures that live in the woods around the factory. Maybe you should go talk to Sheriff Bogg about it, though. You should be able to catch him out by the factory right now.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
And let's ask about Bo.
The guy in the lobby, is he okay?
Oh, that's Bo Murphy. He's always been a bit of an odd one. Yeah, he sits there all day trying to do his puzzles. He mostly keeps to himself, and I bring him some food from time to time. Sometimes I swear he'd starve to death if I didn't bring him something to eat.
Thanks. Well, goodbye.
Enjoy your stay.
Oh, that reminds me. Do you have any gum for sale? Or know where I can buy some?
Dear, we've been out of gum for quite some time.
What?
Haven't seen a stick in months anywhere in town. We tend to get shipments of things like that in the spring.
So, no gum?
Nope.
Gum helps me concentrate.
And this is what I was skipping over before. This is the hint system for the game. You find gum. And the gum, like you said, helps him concentrate and gives him hints for puzzles. So let's go ahead and pick up the others we can find here. There's one here. Oh, we've got a puzzle over here. But also... Oh, I thought I remembered seeing one before. Maybe some will only unlock after certain things. So let's go ahead and jump into this puzzle.
Well, these are interesting.
Yeah, those are Scoggins gnomes. All the tourists love them. But I think one has gone missing. I swear I had 6 of them. I took a picture when I set it up, but I guess I lost it. I still have the film negative, though.
Okay, so this one is the first one that's a little bit tricky, I think. Well, the worm one, I guess tricky in that you had to do a lot of maneuvering. Anyway, so this is a film negative. So not only are things flipped around like this, but also the colors, as we can see here, are inverted. So up here, we've got 3 with red caps, 2 with green. Down here, we've got 3 with red caps, 2 with green. Remember that those are going to be flipped around, but it's still 3 and 3. So that means we're looking for one that actually has a green cap, which means it's one where in the negative it has a red cap, so we can focus on those. Here and here, we've got 2 of them with their arms, with their left arms raised, the right when we look at them here. Flip that around vertically. We're looking for 2 that have the left arms raised as the ones that we know we have already. That leaves this one with the red cap, with the actual one with its right arm raised, and the negative its left arm raised. This must be the one we're looking for. So let's go ahead and submit that one. And look, this experience just describes what I described. Flipped around vertically, colors inverted. So we found what gnome was missing.
Well, one of your gnomes has most definitely run off.
Oh my, wouldn't that be something?
Well, let's talk some more.
Got any more puzzles you need help with?
Puzzles. No new puzzles yet. Brain's always thinking about puzzles.
I'll just check in on you later.
That's everything here, so let's go to our room. Oh, I guess that wasn't our room. Okay, so as you can guess, this is as far as I got in my first playthrough. We can see some gum already around. Huh. Did I pick that up? Not sure where you can actually see how much you have at the moment. Oh well, anyway. I've got a thing to examine here.
Someone left a screwdriver in the alley beside the hotel. Looks clean. Probably of no consequence.
Good to know. And we've got another puzzle here.
Winner undeclared in local contest.
I love the sketchy look for everything here. How it literally looks like it's just taken right out of a sketchbook and colored in. So here, we've got a logic puzzle, looks like. So, we need to take these statements, use them to determine who is the winner, see if we can identify names. So we know this one isn't Pearl, this one isn't Pat, this one isn't Flo. You know, this one beat the Grizzly Grip, which this one was beaten by. Huh, I feel like I'm missing something here. It feels like there's missing information. Let's go back to the description. Nope. nothing there. Okay, so we know that Pat won. We know that Flo has the Grizzly Grip. That means that we know this isn't Flo, this isn't Flo. We know that she pinned Pearl, means she might be the winner. We know that this isn't the winner, this isn't the winner. Could be one of these two. What else can we determine? I really want to try this without hints. So, I'm going to do a little bit of a time skip here. So, you'll see me once I've taken some time to think things through. Maybe some notes. Don't know. See you in a bit. Alright, I'm back. Really seems like there's not enough information, so let's go ahead and embarrass ourselves by using a hint on one of the first puzzles. Well, yes. Oh, I see. That's my own fault. So what's going on here is this was an elimination style tournament. So first you had 2 matched against 2, then the final 2 went up against one another. So we know that these 2 didn't win. We know that these 2 both won at least once. However, one thing that we do know here is that both of these 2 went up against Flo. This one lost to Flo. This one won against Flo. The only way that could have happened is if this is the winner, Flo was the other person to get to the finals. These 2 were the ones who went out in the semifinals. So that means that this must be the winner of the ladies' arm wrestling tournament. Let's see if my logic's right. Good. Worried I might have made an error there somewhere. Okay, so that's overall rating. Yeah, 9 out of 10 is not bad. Let's see if this is the same thing. Yep. And I should have realized that. There's a bit of hidden information on the fact that it was a tournament. Alright.
That was a tricky one.
Alright, so it looks like that's everything we've got out here. Let's head back in. So that's not where you go to the room, then we're... Oh, I've got a new gum here. That's not where you go to get to the room, then where do you go? I'll talk to Ma again. Nope, nothing there.
Goodbye.
Nice talking to you.
Huh, let's talk to Bo again.
Got any more puzzles you need help with?
Puzzles. No new puzzles. Brain's always thinking about puzzles.
I'll just check in on you later.
This is a little befuddling. Okay.
The residents of Skagen seem nice enough. Aside from one wild goose chase, everyone's been cooperative. Plus, it looks like I'm primed for all the hot dish I can eat. It remains to be seen if that's a good thing. I got a map from the hotel owner, so I'm heading over to the eraser factory. Agent Tether's out. Am I supposed to be saying that?
Okay, so that was just a trigger. Let's see if there's anything new. Don't see anything, so yep, let's go ahead and do the thing we're supposed to do. Alright, pretty basic maneuvering here. So, go. Meet with Sheriff Bod. do some investigation before we talk to him.
Interesting. Out at their eraser factory, the doors to the factory are very locked. Some sort of custom-built contraption has got this place locked up tighter than Fort Knox. The device seems damaged, though. It seems to be missing a piece.
All right.
Hi, Sheriff Bog. Yeah,
Bog.
I'm Nelson Tethers of the FBI's Department of Puzzle...
Agent Tethers, good to meet you. We got a real mess here. Yes, we do.
We do?
Oh, yes. It's gonna be a while before we can get this factory running again.
But my job is to get this factory back to making erasers.
Agent Tethers, you're in a right pickle.
Well, I should probably ask you some questions about the incident then.
That's what I'd do if I was a big, important FBI boy.
What was this incident?
Well, we don't need to be dramatic.
What happened?
There was an explosion.
What?
Oh, yeah. A big explosion. And the foreman just never came home.
At an eraser factory? Okay.
When did the accident take place?
Well, I've been trying to figure that out myself. Here's what I know.
Alright, looks like we're in for another logic puzzle. This time let's go ahead and read over this. To begin with, employed to keep watch of the factory from midnight to midnight. Let's see, 1 hour before the last shift started. Gets the shortest shift, 3 hours. We've got one 3-hour shift, that's the shortest one. There's one 8-hour shift. Okay. So, a little bit of a time skip while I put this together in my head. Alright, so this one took a little bit of work and a little bit of taking some notes down, honestly. But it turns out that you actually have enough information here to figure out all of what's going on. So there's a few key pieces of things here, little things that are a little bit subtle. First off, we know that it happened during Bernie's shift. We know that Bernie is the second to last person to go. We know that Iggy had to start at either 6 a.m. or p.m. We know that he wasn't last. We know that every shift has to be less than 8 hours. And I'm assuming that all the shifts are even number of hours long. So that's just an assumption there. So we know that Bernie's shift is 8 hours. We know that Pop's shift is 3 hours. That leaves 13 hours to fill. Because we know that no shift can be longer than 8 hours, and we're assuming that they're all whole numbers, that means the other two shifts must be 7 and 6 hours, respectively. Now, for Iggy to have started at 6, that means that there must have been either 6 or 18 hours worth of shifts before him. However, if there was 18 hours of shifts before him, there would be no way for him to not be the last shift. That means he must have had the second shift, and the person with the 6-hour shift went before him. That means that Iggy must have the 7-hour shift, Al must have the 6-hour shift. Further, we know that Al must have been the first one, going from 12 to 6. Iggy must have been second, going from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bernie must have been third, going from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., and Pop must have been last, going from 9 p.m. to midnight. Bernie's shift ended at 9 p.m. and the last shift started. That means the explosion must have happened at 8 p.m. Oh, you don't drag it. Click it, I guess. Let's see if we're right. There we go. That was a nice one. I love these logic puzzle ones. And yep, this describes pretty much what I said. So let's go ahead and just revel in the fact that we were correct. Or I guess that I was correct, but that sounds a little bit egotistical.
If there was an explosion at that time, wouldn't the icicles on the building have been knocked off?
Good point. Maybe they grew back.
What happened to the foreman? My notes don't have a lot of details.
Well, we're still trying to figure that out. One day after work, Mr. Dabner just never came home. The accident was pretty bad.
Oh, is there a body?
Nope, he's just gone. Isaac Dabner's his name, if you don't have that in your notes.
We don't even know if he died in that explosion?
Won't be able to find that out till we find a way into the factory.
What did your investigation turn up?
Not much. I can't figure out how to get past this lock.
Well, that's because it's missing a piece. I can see that just by looking at it.
So it is. I guess that's why you make the big bucks, right?
That's right, sir.
Alright.
Well, I don't seem to be getting a lot of answers.
Listen, why don't you meet me down at the Moose Ear Diner later? I have some files related to the case that you might be able to help me with.
Oh, okay, but I really think...
Agent Tethers, it's a pleasure working with you. You're doing a great job. I'll meet you at the Moose Ear in a bit.
In addition to the sketchiness, by the way, I just noticed the very basic animation style that you're seeing even in things like that, where it's very stop motion. I'm going to assume that's not my computer being bad, and that is a specific stylistic choice. So, is there anything else to look at here? Oh, we've got some gum. There we go. Doesn't look like there's anything else here. So, we're going to go ahead and call things here. This seems like a good place to take a break, but we will definitely be back soon. This is a really great game so far. I love this sort of puzzle game. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and bye!